In front of millions of people, the WNBA just made the most insulting move possible against Caitlin Clark. Imagine this. The rookie who literally saved their league last year received her award announcement during practice on speakerphone. This year, the commissioner personally presents Paige Bueckers with the trophy on national television, complete with balloons and TV cameras. Even casual fans are describing the disparity as a purposeful insult to the player who helped them achieve record-breaking viewership, because it is so startling. This is where things get much worse, though. Please hit the like button and leave a comment if you believe the league is disrespecting Caitlin Clark before we get into the startling specifics. Your assistance enables us to reveal the true nature of what goes on behind closed doors. Since the disparity between these two ceremonies is like witnessing two entirely different sports leagues, let's speak about what actually happened. Caitlin Clark was standing in a gym with her Indiana Fever teammates in 2024 when she received her Rookie of the Year award. Commissioner Kathy Engelbert was placed on speakerphone by Coach Christy Sides. Indeed, a speakerphone. That concluded the celebration. There were no league cameras, no special effects, not even a handshake, just a voice on the phone informing the player who revolutionized women's basketball that she had won an award. In the meantime, on the Jennifer Hudson program, Paige Bueckers enters the Dallas Wings tunnel in January while music is blaring. Expert lighting technicians follow her every step, and Engelbert herself stands there grinning broadly, trophy in hand. Just the disparity in output value reveals everything about the players the league wishes to elevate. The timing and context of the incident are even more offensive. Caitlin Clark had more than a successful first campaign. She genuinely altered the professional women's basketball industry's business strategy. From playing in front of half-empty arenas, the Fever now sell out every home game and draw an average of over 17,000 spectators. In areas that hadn't been interested in the WNBA for years, Clark's road games set attendance records. Every time she performed, television ratings increased by more than 20%. Nike was unable to maintain its jersey inventory. In addition to new media agreements and sponsors, she also brought in new fans who had never seen a WNBA game before. Her prize was a phone call that appeared to have been captured on an iPhone. That wasn't the whole tale, though. The way these two players are treated in the league shows a lot more about the politics involved. The UConn program, from which Paige Bueckers comes, has essentially dominated the discourse around women's basketball for many years. There are many former Huskies in the league office, coaching roles, and the media. There's a reason they call it the UConn Mafia. Fans quickly realized the irony when Sue Bird, another UConn celebrity, suggested on a podcast that Paige should receive the same treatment as Caitlin and should receive more attention. Clark never had a moment on stage or television, and the commissioner never came out to give her. Nike never produced exclusive goods for her rookie honor. But all of those resources emerge out of nowhere when it's a UConn player. This dispute is made even more heated by the numbers. Playing for a team with fewer than 10 victories, Paige Bueckers recently became the first player in WNBA or NBA history to win Rookie of the Year. Take a moment to process that. The Dallas Wings matched the league's poorest record with a .931 record. Her average of a little under 14 points per game was good, but not particularly noteworthy. In contrast, Clark shattered the single-season assist record, averaged over 19 points per game, and guided the Fever to the playoffs for the first time in years during her debut campaign. But for some reason, Clark was treated like an afterthought while Bueckers received the Hollywood treatment. Everyone who had been following this story would be shocked by what transpired next. When videos of both ceremonies appeared online, social media went crazy. Fans began making side-by-side comparisons between Bueckers' glitzy TV appearance and Clark's uninteresting phone call. Within hours, the disrespectful hashtag for Clark began to gain popularity. Even impartial onlookers who don't often follow the WNBA were remarking on how blatant the favoritism appeared. The question of why the player who saved your league receives less praise than the one whose club won 9 games was the subject of a viral post that received over 2 million views. The league appears even more culpable because they haven't addressed any of these criticisms. Conspiracy theories begin to make sense at this point. According to some sources, it was done on purpose to offset Clark's popularity, which overshadowed other stars the league wished to highlight. Do you recall all the veterans who griped about Clark receiving excessive attention during his first season? The athletes who claimed that her popularity stemmed only from her race. Even though she was the best player on the court, the coaches benched her during pivotal moments. This ceremonial distinction seems to be the league's attempt to elevate someone they believe to be more consistent with their preferred narrative while putting Clark in her place. Furthermore, it becomes impossible to overlook the linkages when you consider who is making these decisions. Special consideration should be given to the commissioner's involvement in all of this. Despite being unable to be in person for Clark's announcement, Kathy Engelbert traveled across the nation to present bookers with her trophy in person on daytime TV. She was beaming and joking with Paige like they were longtime friends. The commissioner who allowed Clark to be physically harassed throughout the season without providing her with protection now has a strong desire to honor a rookie on a team that finished last. Fans aren't naive. They can see the actual message being conveyed. The league will make a special effort to highlight some players while treating others as though they should be content to simply be present. The situation is further complicated by Nike's involvement. Within hours of the announcement of her victory, they produced exclusive Rookie of the Year gear for Buckers. Social media ads, personalized t-shirts, and the entire marketing apparatus went into overdrive right away. Clark doesn't care. Even though her jersey is their best-selling item, there isn't a single piece of commemorative merchandise. It seems as though they had everything prepared and knew Bikers was winning before it was even declared. Because she doesn't match the narrative they want to promote, the player who truly drives their sales is overlooked in the meantime. Additionally, the vote pattern reveals a narrative. Although the Bikers prevailed, it wasn't a unanimous decision, as many had anticipated. Compared to the previous year, when Clark won by a wide margin, more votes were cast for the runner-up this year. Despite her team's dismal record, voters have privately acknowledged they felt pressured to choose the Bikers. Given how strongly the league was pressing for Paige to win, one anonymous voter informed a reporter that supporting anyone else would have been career death. That isn't conjecture. That's a system insider acknowledging that everything was rigged from the beginning. Here's what reveals the double standard, though. Clark was frequently criticized throughout her debut campaign for a variety of reasons, including her shot choice, turnovers, and teamwork. The physicality of the professional game raised questions among the media. She was widely referred to as overrated by veterans. She received more flagrant fouls than any other rookie in history. Oh, and the league took no action to keep her safe. Now contrast that with Bikers' approach. Even though her squad has a history of poor performance, there was not a single negative story. When they actually won 9 games, nobody questioned whether she improved her teammates. She was not criticized by any veterans for taking too many shots. It is insulting to fans' intelligence that Paige's protection is so evident. This is made much more annoying by the fact that Clark has handled everything with elegance. She never voiced any complaints over treatment, publicly applauded Bikers, and kept her attention on basketball while the league played politics around her. She was currently focusing on her game, getting ready for the next season, and ignoring all of the controversy. But her fans shouldn't be keeping quiet. It's not just bad business when the top player in your league is purposefully disregarded to support someone else. The integrity of competition is being attacked. This entire situation's timing seems very dubious. Due in large part to the Clark-fueled surge in viewership, the WNBA just announced a new media rights agreement worth billions. Because of the fans she attracted, attendance is at an all-time high. Her jerseys are selling. Eventually, the truth always surfaces, and everyone will realize who truly merited the attention all along. Out, which is the main reason why merchandise sales have skyrocketed. However, they all get these advantages from her fame. They seem to be attempting to ignore her in favor of their desired plotline after using her to achieve their goals. This trend is not limited to rookie honors. At how the All-Star game was handled, where Clark had little playing time despite being the only player the fans wanted to see. At how everyone but the player driving the ratings was the focus of the playoff coverage. Observe how articles about how someone else should have received more credit appeared just after every accomplishment she made. Despite cashing the checks that Clark's popularity writes, the league appears committed to reducing her influence. The true victims in this case are the viewers, who became interested due to genuine excitement rather than made-up stories. They came for behind-the-back passes and Clark's logo threes, not for favoritism or political games. If the league continues to treat the player who initially piqued their interest disrespectfully, many of these new fans have already threatened to stop watching. Can you hold them accountable? Why devote time and resources to a league that publicly mocks its top star? Although most of them are too afraid to speak out in public,
Even other players are beginning to notice the unfair treatment. Social media posts criticizing the double standard have received some likes. Others have sent Clark private messages of encouragement. However, the majority of them remain mute out of fear of being blacklisted by the Yukon network. Speaking out against blatant favoritism might ruin your career before it even starts in this toxic society. This disregard might have disastrous financial repercussions for the WNBA. Not only is Clark's fan base sizable, but it is also devoted and passionate. They expressly purchase jerseys, tickets, and streaming services to help her. These supporters will shop elsewhere if the league keeps acting in such an obviously biased manner. Attendance at games where Clark isn't playing is already declining. Without her, ratings are reverting to their pre-Clark levels. To preserve the sentiments of a select few insiders, the league is effectively killing its golden goose. The most offensive thing is how obvious the entire plan has become. They're no longer even making an effort to conceal their partiality. While the winner from the previous year, who changed the league as a whole, received a phone call, the commissioner actually traveled across the nation to present an award to a player on a 9-in team. What is a purposeful message if that isn't one? Regardless of influence or performance, they might as well post a billboard stating that some players are more important than others. The answer is straightforward, but it takes courage. The current leadership is lacking. Give each player the same treatment. Honor accomplishments based on merit rather than relationships. Players should no longer be punished for being overly successful or well-liked. Above all, show consideration for the fans who foot the tab rather than disparaging their intelligence through blatant trickery. Until then, the dispute will only become worse and might ruin everything Clark created for them. Remember that your voice counts in bringing attention to this injustice. As we close out this exciting tale, please leave a comment below with your thoughts on the WNBA's handling of Caitlin Clark versus Paige Buchers. To keep up with the latest events in this ongoing issue, click the subscribe button. Even if the league disregards Clark's achievements, we will not allow them to change the course of history.